Is there anything better than picking your own fresh salads and veggies for the table each night? I don't think there is. Now, this is what the Garden Gurus is all about. Inspiration. Doesn't get any better than growing your own at home, and we've got a lot of that for you today on the show. Here's what's coming up. Weeds, our nemesis in the garden, but what if they were edible? Sue creates a colourful potted plant highlight, and I'll share an easy way to turn your house into a smart home.
Dig, 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 digging around. Dig, 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 digging the ground. I got my spade, I got my hoe, I got my rake, and I'm ready to go.
Have you ever thought that some gardeners seem to have a hidden talent? They are that friend that when you visit, their indoor plants always look fantastic. They seem to throw some random plant combinations together and look stunning. Now, when you ask them how they do it, they say it's easy, anyone can. And you seem to roll your eyes and go, yeah, as if I could. Well, I'm here to tell you it is easy. And with a few different plant combinations, we can create some head-turning planters. There are only a few points you need to remember. To fill a container, you need at least 3 different varieties as a minimum. And remember SBT, strong, bushy and trailing. It's as easy as that. Even in a small container, choose plants with this combination in mind. In a large container, you can plant 2 of the same variety to make it look full and vibrant. SBT, the S in the combination rule are those strong plants. Now these have got really dark green foliage usually and create an architectural form and create a backdrop to the planter. B are those bushy varieties. Now these are going to fill up a space in the middle. It doesn't matter if you plant 2 or 3 of the same variety because they'll look absolutely brilliant when they're in flower or grown to maturity. And the T, well, that's those trailing varieties. And what they do is hang down the side of the planter and create an added interest. Bright, strong colours will stimulate the senses and create a welcoming energy to an indoor or alfresco space. This colour combination of anthurium with large foliage and dark red flowers, combined with the dark green foliage of kalanchoe with yellow flowers, and cascading combination of this peperomia blue watermelon. Now it's got gorgeous burgundy foliage underneath and this stunning silver sheen on the top. And that's going to hang down and create some interest as it's on a table. Different colours will affect your mood, so for cooling and calming combinations, look for a peace lily or spathiphyllum with bold dark green foliage, soft pink of a cyclamen, and selecting a trailing fern. Soft colours will also make a space look larger and ideal for a narrow balcony or entranceway. Most of the varieties suitable for mixed containers can stay in planters for a period of time, as long as they're receiving regular fertiliser. I love controlled release fertiliser because it's the foolproof way of feeding plants. Nutrients are released over a period of time. It's almost impossible to make a mistake and kill plants by overfeeding. Use the varying shades of green to your advantage. Green is the fail-safe colour to make everything else look gorgeous, and I'd say the most forgotten about colour. Now the complementary colour to green is red, and the split complementary is burgundy and orange and all those other tones linked. And this is the reason why all these plants together look so gorgeous.
These boxes up in the tree are not nest boxes for birds, but in fact boxes for microbats. Now, why would I want to attract microbats into my garden? Well, here's the short answer. They can consume 1,000 to 1,200 mosquitoes in one evening. Isn't that sensational? Now, I made this particular box to a design I picked up on the internet, and you can do that as well. Great fun at home.
What a rapidly changing world we live in these days. And I know it can all be a little bit overwhelming. But could you imagine a world where you could run all of the devices, all the systems that you have in your garden, all simply from an app on your smartphone? And with a touch from anywhere in the world, you can control things and make sure that it's all working well. Well, you don't have to worry about that anymore because it's not just a theory, it's real. Holman are constantly innovating to make gardening more precise and easier using technology, and these innovations using Wi-Fi are simply amazing. Firstly, there's the lights we featured previously on the show. The earlier models that were Bluetooth I thought were great. They allowed you to control effects and colours. And now they've introduced the Wi-Fi RGB garden lighting controller. Now, connected to the app, it means that you can control your lights from anywhere in the world and get all sorts of lighting effects in your backyard. The great thing about the app is it's completely intuitive. Basically, at a finger touch, you can work out what it is you want to do, what you want to achieve, and set up a fantastic lighting effect in your garden. When it comes to watering, it was getting to the point where you needed a degree as a programmer to operate some of the water controllers that are out there. But again, the clever people at Holman did something smart. They created the WX8 Wi-Fi controller, and programming a watering system has never been easier. The way this controller works is very much like a traditional controller, which means that you can take your old controller out if it's 8 station and get rid of it. Replace it with this one. Now, setting it up is really easy. Basically, all you do is you set up your programs. You can have 3 programs per day, and you can have different run times per station, and you can control them from anywhere in the world. And the great thing about this particular system is if you have a real stinker of a day at home, then you can actually go to the manual mode and just set a manual run. And that's going to trigger watering, which means it's going to help you dry stress plants. The latest product in the Holman range to utilise Wi-Fi is one I absolutely love. If there's one website I love visiting, it's the Bomb Weather website. But let's face it, they're not localised to your suburb. So having up-to-date weather reports available, reported real-time from your garden is something pretty special. And the new Holman Weather Station Solar Pro is just smart gardening. The weather station reports to the device all sorts of weather activity, from wind speed to rainfall or changing special events. So if you want to know what's going on, there's even an alert here that alerts you when the weather does change. It's quite a remarkable device, and it records all of this information, which gives you a history to go back on. Imagine knowing that this day last year we had rain, so you had to make sure the irrigation was off. But this day this year, we have frosts, so you can decide to run the stations for 3 minutes each to melt the ice and reduce the damage. This kind of knowledge is incredibly powerful when it comes to keeping your garden looking great and managing it throughout the year. You really are a smart gardener when you're using apps like this. Imagine what the future holds. Imagine being able to press a button and mow the lawn.
Think of heuchera as a magic carpet in your garden. These ground-hugging plants are mainly grown for their foliage colour. However, they do produce masses of tiny pink and red flowers through the spring and summer months, and they catch the breeze and give you that lovely sense of movement in the garden. These are vigorous and very easy to grow plants, well suited to a wide range of climates, from hot and humid to cool locations. These versatile plants can add the extra dimension of year-round foliage colour, ideal for garden beds, rockeries, mass planting, and even in pots and hanging baskets. Garden Express are offering Garden Guru viewers 2 different heuchera collections, each consisting of 3 separate varieties at a special price of $20, representing a saving of $9.70 compared to buying each plant individually. Collection 1 includes heuchera marmalade. This has marvellous bronzy, almost purple toned foliage, and it changes throughout the year. Then there's peppermint spice. This is a lovely variegated foliage with touches of silver in these quite prominent veins. And lastly, sweet tart. Now this has a lovely chartreuse coloured leaves, in other words, sort of lemony yellow. And look at these gorgeous little flowers. They make a fabulous show. Collection 2 includes heuchera blondie. This has got caramel coloured foliage and very unusual yellow flowers through the spring. Fire alarm has the reddest foliage of any of the heucheras, and one of my favourites, forever purple. Look at that lovely deep purple foliage, a wonderful contrast in the garden.
I want to introduce you to this amazing plant, and it's called Actinodium cunninghamii, and it's an Australian native to WA, but it can be grown in Melbourne but the only thing it doesn't like is a heavy clay soil, so planting it into a pot will do just fine and in full sun. But what I really love are these beautiful flowers. They come out like daisies, a raspberry pink colour, but over time, these outer petals will fade to a beautiful white.
You see, it's not all glamour in this TV caper, folks. We do actually work in the rain, and that raises a good point. When it's raining, it's a great opportunity to fertilise the lawn. You'll activate the fertiliser, you'll save time, and more importantly, you'll save precious water. Whooshka!
Strongly linked with Greek mythology, the ancient Greeks grew fennel for its seeds to give them strength. It seems this humble plant has been used for many different uses, even said to keep fleas away. Now, I'm not sure how effective it is for both of those uses. I just grow it because I love the flavour. This plant can be grown in full sun in any garden bed. Simple is best for me. I serve it sliced thinly with olive oil, lemon juice and salt. Florence fennel is a plant that just keeps on giving. Every part of the plant is edible, the bulbs, leaves and seeds. Originating from the Mediterranean, it's ideally suited to our sunny climate and will grow fairly large, so you do need a bit of space to allow it to develop to its potential. Avoid root disturbance because this is what causes it to bolt to seed. Harvest the bulb when it develops the size of a celery head. Once the bulb's been harvested, side shoots will develop, so leave these plants in the ground because these side shoots develop lots of flowers and they attract beneficial insects. And these insects are certainly the hard workers of your garden. They'll ensure there's so many more flowers and a lot of fruit.
I love my fresh veggies and leafy greens, and over the last couple of years I've really increased my intake, and I'm sure you'll agree that the results speak for themselves. I've lost 11 kilos in the last 12 months, and one of the secrets is lots of veggies and leafy greens, and there's no better way to get them into your diet than by growing your own. I'm building a favourite landscape project of mine, a raised veggie garden. I love these because they bring so much goodness into our lives and are fairly simple to put together. Perfect for a simpleton such as myself. What helps to complete this project and make it more easily built are these retain-it posts that I'm using that are specifically designed for use with treated pine sleepers. I'm building a smallish veggie garden, 1.5 by 1.5 metres. Once you've chosen a sunny position, it's time to set out for the posts. I've cut my sleepers to size and I'm laying them out in a square with the retain-it posts to help with the post position. Mark the post holes and then dig them. Dig with plenty of room around the post for adjustments and adequate concrete to give strength. Put the posts in the holes with the sleepers slotted in. So now the sleepers are all level, the posts are all plumb, and the tops of the sleepers and posts are all flush, which is the look that we're after. I can put the rest of the concrete in around the base of the posts, and the whole job will be level and strong. And you'll notice there are no screws with this system, which saves time and money, and there's just enough play in these posts that you can make all those little tweaks and adjustments, which makes the job so much easier. The sleepers are ACQ treated pine, which are good for contact structures like this. To work out how much soil you need is a simple volume calculation, length times width times height. To take your veggie garden to the next level, you can use these veggie panels, very handy to grow things like your peas or other climbing crops. You can make a wall at the back here. You can do any shape you like, including a tomato frame. I've got two there. And they just sort of connect with these loops and hooks. You can plant your tomato in the middle, then you've got a frame to attach it to, and whooshka, up she comes. You'll be eating tomatoes for Australia. Well, look at that, folks, a beautiful collection of fresh produce. I've got my lettuce, parsley, strawberries, chilies. I tell you what, you mix all those together and you're gonna have quite the dish.
These stunning geraniums, or zonal pelargoniums as they're known because of this zone in the foliage, are terrific garden performers. We cut these right down to the ground during the winter and they pop up and put on a fabulous show through spring and right through summer.
One of the things you may not be aware of is that I have the pleasure of hosting a food show as well, and one of the big trends in food at the moment in fine dining restaurants is adding foraged food to the plate. That is foods that, well, grow wild, that grow naturally in places like our gardens. In fact, there are many plants that grow in our gardens that we consider weeds that are absolutely delish and end up costing a fair bit if they're put on the dinner plate in a fine dining restaurant. A good example is a common weed called portulaca, which grows in the summer months in Australia. It's actually edible and it's one of the highest sources of omega-3 fatty acids on the planet. I know people who've spent the day pulling it out complaining about sore joints afterwards, when if they'd just eaten it, they'd be feeling pretty good. Spring is a brilliant time of the year to be out foraging because there are so many plants that are growing on the side of the road, just like this on my verge, that are edible. Now, all three here are beautiful Australian wildflowers. This is the paper daisy or everlasting. And these yellow ones, well, they are not a native of Australia. They're a native of South Africa, of the Cape region. This is known as wood sorrel or soursop. And as a kid, I used to love chewing on it, but it's so sour. Oh. It's one of those weeds that's actually great added to a salad. The flowers, the flower stems, and even the leaves are edible. The leaves and the flowers have a sour lemony flavour because they are rich in a natural plant compound called oxalic acid, which binds with minerals in the gut and expels them before they can be absorbed. Another common weed this time of the year is something called mallow. It pops up everywhere at the beginning of winter, and by mid-spring, it's flowering and dropping seed. Again, it's a very useful plant. The leaves, the stems, and even the roots are edible. So the leaves can be used just like spinach in a salad, and they're rich in iron. The stems and the roots, well, they're used as a thickener for soups. And the little flowers, which will start arriving on this plant pretty soon, can be thrown into salads. Now, they're not very tasty, but they are full of goodness. I had the opportunity to travel to Newcastle in Northern Ireland a few years back and was taken foraging by one of the Emerald Isle's most accomplished chefs, Paul Cunningham from Brunel's. Paul was recognised as Ireland's best chef more than once, and he took me foraging in the nearby Mourne Mountains forest. And one of the weeds we foraged was one that I'd fed to the compost heap and the chickens too many times. It's commonly known as chickweed. And if you're wondering what it tastes like, it tastes a little bit grassy. It's sweet, and some people describe it as sweet like corn silk. The best thing about it is it's a very rich source of vitamin C and antioxidants, and it's got some medicinal benefits as well. It helps with respiratory tract infections and also congestion. Well, there's 4 weeds that are good for you. And the funny thing is that now that you know that they're not weeds and you're going to be putting them into dishes, they're going to be rare to find in your garden. So you might want to go foraging somewhere else.
There are only 5 things you need to remember to get the best lawn in the street and earn bragging rights. And if you're new to growing lawns, these 5 things will put you up on the expert level before summer hits. If you happen to have a few weeds in the lawn, pull them out before you do anything else. Weeds are opportunistic feeders and they'll compete for moisture and nutrients, and the lawn definitely misses out. And if you've got a huge space of lawn and the thought of weeding it is a little daunting, we'll take one day at a time, or maybe a few square metres at a time. And before you know it, it'll be done. Then grab yourself some of this Seesaw Lawn and Soil Booster. We talk about how important good soil is to strong plants and a healthy garden. The lawn is no different. This granular feed is going to be the answer. It will do all the things you can't see and have no control of when it comes to your lawn. This is where the magic happens. It increases the water holding capacity and the nutrients around the plant's root zone. It also converts the nutrients into a form that a plant can take up. 2 things we need: good soil and water holding capacity. And the composts and the humic acids in this are going to set your lawn apart from the neighbours across the street. The last thing you want at this time of the year is soft new growth that's easily damaged by the cold. It's steady at the beginning of spring, and light feeding is the answer. Sea Soul Lawn and Soil Booster has the right amount of nutrients for a light feed and reduce the number of mows. Energy into the root system rather than the leaves is what we want, and if it goes on the garden beds, no problem. Grab yourself a pitchfork or aerator tool and loosen the soil. Now this is definitely a workout that's worth it. Winter soil tends to compact and all plants need a certain amount of air around the roots to grow, and lawns are no exception. It will also ensure the water soaks in and doesn't run off. The irrigation system needs a service. Now this is Murphy's Law. Each sprinkler needs to be checked. It was working at the end of autumn when it was last used, but suddenly, I don't know, something's happened. Each sprinkler needs to be checked to make sure it's not blocked, not broken, and it's watering where it should. So once we've got the watering sorted, the lawn's got no weeds, it's aerated, it's been fed, and the lawnmower is waiting in anticipation in the corner, let's bring on spring.
Well, that's it for this week's show. I hope you enjoyed it. The good news is we're back next week and we've got another brilliant program for you, packed full of down-to-earth gardening advice. I'm Trevor Cochrane. We'll see you next week for the Garden Gurus. See you then.